Hey, 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 hey! Indeed. So, good afternoon, good evening, good night, or good morning, depending on where in the world you are watching this show. How are you guys?
As I like to say, hey.
Hey, indeed. How are you guys? I hope you've had a fantastic 2 weeks. You've been catching up on the videos last week that we've been sharing here from Q Corner Convention 2020 with the last one of Nicole. Yeah, absolutely. So next week we will be releasing another 3, and you have to wait for see which 3 those are, and then it'll continue on like that.
I'll give you a hint. Go back.
No, don't give them a hint. Yeah, just wait for the surprise. Wait for the surprise.
I wonder what order it could be in.
Great to see everybody in the chat. It's nice to see that we got a lot of emojis flying on there as well.
I'm liking it.
We're loving it, and we really appreciate your support. Hello. Yeah, thumbs up.
I like it. I love it. I want it. I need it.
Right. So, what are we doing tonight, Doc?
Balloons. The world.
And your customers.
Yeah.
Balloons, the world, and your customers. It's a
we
big
need
statement.
them, we want them, we must have them, we must look after them.
What, balloons?
Yes.
Yes. And the world as well. In fact, all 3.
What's
all
that?
3.
No, the world.
$1 million. So anyway, cheers.
Anyway,
first
cheers,
of all,
people.
because we're
Happy
not
Wednesday.
doing anything balloon related tonight.
We're not, no. I did.
Actually, physically, therefore, we can have a cup of tea on there without the risk of something being knocked over.
I did have to remove the carnage of the machines and balloons.
Yes.
It was like, I don't know, a premium... A stall
Premium
for
explosion.
premium balloon accessories.
They're still around. I mean, there's a Common Air Pro down here as well beside me still.
My laptop's propped up now by a Jules, a twin sizer. Anyway, enough about our first world problems.
Yeah, we've got tons of things to get through because we are talking about the environment because obviously the environment is becoming more and more... well, I mean, it's in the news all the time, but the fact that balloons and the environment...
More sensitive to it, and
yes.
they're making more conscious decisions, and actually they are not necessarily putting price first.
No.
They are putting an ecological standpoint on it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're feeling it, and I think we had a bit of a pause on this one, which is why we've come back to it, because we felt... I think some people have got a bit more time, and they've managed their work-life balance better.
Yes.
So they're making more conscious
decisions about their footprint on the environment.
So we're seeing those questions come back again.
Yeah.
We had them pre-pandemic, and it was becoming a hot topic, and that's fine. We're adapting and working our way through that. Then we had the pandemic. We just pressed a 1.5-year pause.
Yes. And fingers crossed that we're coming out of it at the moment, but fingers crossed we'll be out of that soon in our area. I know other areas are a bit different at the moment
we'll get there,
as well.
folks.
So
we will.
Yeah, let's just stick with it together.
That's it. But now we're getting back into
customers are asking
a new way of working, a new industry. We've got to kind of just readdress this because it hasn't gone away.
And it's not going to go anywhere.
No.
In fact, it's going to become more and more prominent as we go forward. So either what we can do is we can be reactive or we can be proactive. So what you can do is you can have yourself ready for those questions or wait until the customers ask the questions and then have to find out the answers and find out where you get the information from. We like to be we like to be a bit more armed with this, and I can see in the chat there we've got Dr. Bob who had a big impact with the green balloon campaign quite a few years ago now.
Yeah, and this is not a new thing. There's just more people being more sensitive.
Yes,
and I don't mean sensitive in a negative way, but being conscious.
But actually, conscious, sensitive. That's fine. Sensitive's not a nasty word.
If you think about some of the early days jobs that we had a potential of a very big event that kind of we became foul of in an environmental issue that wasn't and isn't.
Yeah.
However, there was questions raised and we weren't armed, we weren't ready.
We weren't. We couldn't handle it at the time because we didn't have the information
and
that we needed. And the questions were asked and we didn't have the answers. And obviously that doesn't look fantastically professional
either.
Having
the professional answer.
Yeah.
We knew it, but couldn't convey it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the resources and the way of presenting that information without it coming across as a lecture.
Yes,
that's the problem.
That is
we
it.
face.
Yeah, we don't want you to stand on your soapbox and
Yeah.
tell everybody about biodegrading this and
Like,
environmental
"Rah!"
impact. You don't need to do that because people will shut down to it.
Yeah.
If they have their opinion, you're not going to change their opinion by shouting your opinion over the top of them. That's not how it's going to work.
And it's
What you have to
also
do is we have to do it through education, right?
Very hard. And personally, this one, I think you're much better at it than I am. But the digital version of a conversation, not trying to sound confrontational.
Yes, because if you're texting it backwards and forwards, and a lot of things are happening through social media,
Yeah.
it's black and white. And when it goes on there in black and white, it can be read in
Yeah.
many different ways. We all
Verbally,
know this.
face to face, on the phone
Yeah.
is my playground. I'm really happy with that. I can work with someone and negotiate my way of presenting the facts,
Yeah.
and in a manner that they understand and feel what I'm trying to convey. As soon as I put pen to paper or finger to keyboard, it just says
Black and
"Raw."
white. Exactly. The thing is that it can be read many different ways. We all know this. We've all read a message where it was potentially meant one way and it was read in a very different way.
Yeah.
We've all had
Try
that
reading
experience.
it. Try reading it in a happy voice sometimes. You know, you get
Yeah.
you get a message.
Put a
or-
smile on your face
yeah,
while you read it
yeah,
and
that-
see if it still
oh,
sounds
actually,
so bad.
If it's upbeat, it makes sense.
Yes, yeah.
So we've been there, we've done this one, and you know we've had some very good responses, and we've also had some really negative.
Yes.
Like we've not been successful. So this is not us telling you this is how to absolutely do it.
No.
However, we've got to a point now
Where we've gathered our resources.
we're ready, okay?
Yes.
And this is not us with our own fancy graphics. This is not us with our own website with loads of information. This is us tapping into the resources that are there.
They're already there. And all we're going to do now is we're going to share with you guys the resources that are open to you that we use, that we tap into when we're asked the questions. And in fact, we popped on to some of these ones because we haven't been on them for a little while, and it's the amount of new information on there is fantastic too. So it just
Yes.
keeps getting
This
better
hasn't stood
and
still
better and
through
better.
the pandemic. This is evolved.
So
and
before
moved
we
forward.
run out of time, because we're already a third of the way through the show, I think what we should have to do,
Can't be.
because we've
I've
got
still got 3/4.
well, we've got a lot to get through, Dom. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump over
That's what I
to the web browser.
Okay.
So
We're
I
good.
need to do that one because,
You have-
first of all,
just before we jump to it, these graphics.
well, which website's this?
Well, I find you can't go wrong with Qualitex.com.
You're right. You can't go wrong with Qualitex.com. There's a good
Qualitex
question.
marketing.
Yes.
This stuff.
Yes.
This is golden.
We love this. We went onto the website today and this tie-dye image like this. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow. Absolutely spot on. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It's a winner.
It
Absolutely
is. Winner, winner.
Not for like us to get
chicken dinner.
sidetracked.
In
with-
fact,
with-
it's going to get one of them
Oh, okay,
because
yeah, I'll give it
that is it's a wonderful thing. So well done.
it's shiny. We get distracted.
So when you need to get onto our website, which website we go to? Because we find
Well, the Qualitex.com is.
because you can't go wrong. You've got our catchphrase,
I
Dom.
know. I said
You
it
can't
already.
Go wrong with Qualitex.com.
Thanks, Hetty, with the Mr. Q's.
Yes, thank
We needed
you.
them.
There we go. Rachel there in the chat saying that we enjoy creating those for the website and our social media. I'm not surprised.
What does
Absolutely hit the nail
Rachel
on the
know?
head.
It's not like she's a social media guru or anything. Hey, Rachel.
So yes, absolutely, they hit the nail on the head with this one.
Yeah.
Absolutely knocked it out of the
Love
park. It's beautiful.
So this is a really good one to go to for resources that then fan out to other areas.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a question there as well. Do you think we are still in the helium shortage? By Jason from Malaysia. The thing is that we're going to have the ups and downs of the helium thing. In fact, if you have a look at some of these resources that we're going to share with you, there's a lot more information regarding the helium side. So what you need to do is we still need to focus on using a lot more airfield designs. I know that we're doing a lot more.
So much more profitable as well.
Yeah.
And our customers.
Your customers.
Right, Yorkshire there. Customers have responded. I'm not even going to say positively.
No,
or
but the
negative.
thing
It's
is
just
that
they've just
especially, you
gone
know,
along with the new designs.
yeah, with the mashups or the marquees
Yeah.
or whatever you decide, whatever you call the big, large number and letter designs.
Yeah.
They're super deluxe.
Yeah.
Whatever. People love those, and they're very, very big at the moment. And of course, they're predominantly air-filled. Some
Yeah.
people add on a little bit of helium as well.
And logistically,
But they last for a
helium's
long time and have the big
still an
impact.
issue with logistics of cylinders, availability for businesses, for having people working and stuff. So I still think we're going to feel a bit of it for a while.
Yes.
However, I think
And the prices are never going to go down. So if you think the helium prices are expensive and things, just remember, take your helium usage down, use your air inflate, because the government still haven't figured out a way to tax air yet. So continue to use more air-filled work. And Jason, over there in Malaysia, you should be no problems with that because of your twisting skills, which is spot on, buddy.
exactly.
Right, okay, so let's
Back to where
let's
we
go
were.
full
There we go.
screen.
Let's go there.
There we go, under our website. So we're on Qualitex.com because you definitely cannot go wrong with Qualitex.com. And what we're going to do is we're going to go... we're not going to...
Thanks, Siri.
Thanks, Siri.
We're not sponsored in any shape or form by Siri. She just decides to, chip in when she's not wanted.
So what we're going to do on here is we're going to go to the top where it says sustainability. So at the top where it says sustainability, we shall click on to here. Now, if you hover over it, you can see that it says market materials, or we can click on sustainability. So I'm going to click on the sustainability.
You do that.
I am. I've just have. And then, because this, we can go to our market materials here, but we can also see that there's a couple of other things. We've got 11 ways to reuse microfoil balloons, and also Don't Let It Go, an editorial by Qualitex.
So this particular resource, we deem as such, it's for you, the balloon professional. This is something that you would go to, tap into, to give you some knowledge and some other links and some material to perhaps download. This is not one that we would necessarily send to a customer, because you might overload them with information, because the Qualitex.com website has got so much in there.
Yeah, it's
not
definitely more
for-
designed for a business to business situation, and to educate yourself.
Yeah, it's not for your end user,
Yeah.
your customer to go to ideally. You might end up with some spin-off issues from that. We're not saying it's a bad website, but, for instance, you may not stock everything that Qualitex does because of the region that you're in, and
Yes.
they may go on it and see, products that you haven't got yet, or not available yet, or not in your area. So this is not something that we would send to our customer.
No.
We're using it as a resource to help us, educate us, and then give us more links to bounce to that we could share.
However, the thing is that obviously Qualitex is a massive brand within our industry. It's huge. That it's very, very well known within our customers.
Absolutely.
So if our customers do end up onto the Qualitex
if they find it, then that's
website,
absolutely fine.
and there's tons of information on there for them that they can go through. I mean, we've
And
got the whole
ideally, they're going to
thing.
find you on Finder Pro.
Yes, our stance on balloon releases. Keep balloons fun, be responsible. Balloon facts, which we'll go on to in a
The new
little
video
bit.
as well. This is,
Latex balloon biodegradability. There's a full-on video here, which let's just let it run in.
It's a very, very professional.
Well, this one's only 28 seconds as well, so it's that bite-size amount
Yeah.
where you're going to keep people's attention. And they're not having to invest 10 minutes on watching how
But
everything's
it's got
done.
trees
but
and
it's
leaves
28.
in. That
Yes.
sold me.
Yes, absolutely. Look at
But
that.
a lot of people don't understand, because why would they, where that comes from, where our balloons come from. It's a natural product. So those sort of things really help us educate our customers.
Yep. And then we've got the Joy of Balloons on there too, which is the hashtag Joy of Balloons. If you haven't tried it already, get yourself onto Instagram and do a search for hashtag Joy of Balloons, or on Facebook, and see what people are sharing all about the joy
And don't
of
forget to
balloons.
share yourself as well.
Yeah.
Because I know we've stopped doing it, because you fall out of the habit of some of the hashtags.
Yep.
We should do some more of those ones.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's our first website, which is Qualitex.com, full of useful information. We're going to pop onto our second one, which is actually led on here, which is Balloon Facts. Now, Balloon Facts was launched. I'm trying to remember. We covered the launch of this website,
We did.
Balloon Facts. It is brilliant. This is definitely 100% definitely aim your customers at balloonfacts.org.
Yeah. So we often, when we send out an email, will give our customers a few links to check out. And we do that because it really helps build that picture. There is a lot of information out there, and they're all saying the same clear facts. There's nothing contradictive from one side to the other side. They've got the same goals, but just maybe it's put across in maybe it's a different way, different visual that might help the customer. But what we tend to do is always pick one of them, which is generally Balloon Facts, to say we find that the information that you're asking us, this website will answer all of those questions for you.
Yeah, this is especially, it's just really good if you do have some serious objections, because there's some parts of this website which particularly deal with that, which we'll show you in a second. But there's another website which we're going to show you in a little bit, which is another fantastic website to send your customers to. But this is just absolutely.
We've had when we
gold.
send out information to a customer with this information on, so they're getting the Balloon Facts, and they're going to get some others that we're going to share with you.
Yeah.
Then they get the message from us to say, but if you have any other questions, if you have anything that these websites, don't answer for you, if there's anything you want us to kind of, point you in the right direction of, we'll happily go over it with you. Come in, do it over the phone. We're not just sending them off to disappear. We're giving them a very good piece of information that they can digest at their own pace. We've never had anybody come back to us with a further objection.
No, and the reason for that is this particular website. First of all, we've got some great things down here. Tips for reducing post-party balloon waste. It's also talking about the helium side there. Responsible balloon use. Are balloons biodegradable? Balloon play and child development. 7 unexpected ways balloons contribute to society. 11 ways to reuse foil balloons, again, because that's important, right? Because obviously the foil balloons are not biodegradable. Therefore, if we can reuse them, it's great for that. 5 reasons you should never release balloons. Yes.
These are the headline ones that capture people's in the negative way, to say that balloons aren't biodegradable. So these are answering those questions with the same very bold headlines, like are balloons using up all the helium?
Yes.
No,
are balloons bad for?
You've not read it.
Oh, no. I was saying yes to
I
the
know.
statement, not rather than the question. Are balloons bad for the environment? You just click on there, and it goes through the whole thing, and then you actually find out that balloons are not bad for the environment. In fact, the process is really good because of all the plantations that have to be created for harvesting the latex and each tree that's planted for it has a 30-year lifespan. So there's a lot of positives about balloons within the environment too.
This is also not brand specific.
Yes.
This website is very generic, although many people behind the scenes have been working on it. It's a collaborative website, which is brilliant. The benefit to it being a non-branded website, so it's not your company, it's not the major manufacturers, this is a factual website given out with cited links saying this is where the information's come from. It helps give it some validation to say that this is fact. Here is all the information, and this is where it's from. And from that, it's not us. We can, on our own website, put a lot of this information. We could take these resources and in fact kind of augment them into our own website. We could do that, but we took the decision kind of previously, because this was kind of evolving information, to stay the most current. We have these.
Yes, we point them to that. Also, the reason that we do that too is the fact that it's independent from us.
Yes.
Because if it's on our website, we could be literally typing anything. But what it is that we have multiple resources available to us that we can send our customers to, which all have the same message out there.
Same core message. It's put across in a few different ways, which is great because it's got different visuals. Like the visual on Balloon Facts is very different to some of the other ones.
Yes.
But that's good because some people dial into one versus the other. One of them is a bit more, I want to say, American versus European, and that's great because we've got different markets.
Absolutely.
Customers. And that's not to say that we wouldn't use the American one. We do, because actually we've got some customers that really it works for. So it's picking and choosing which resources you want to use because they're there for you to use.
Absolutely. And there's one thing on this particular website that I absolutely love, and that's the fact checker. So what we can do is we can up at the top here, we're going to click on where it says fact checker, and that's going to be coming soon. It was the frequently asked questions on here. This is the questions that generally get asked the most by our customers.
Yes.
So, what is the California balloon law? I don't live in California. I don't need to. So this is for businesses as well. Do children need to be supervised when around balloons? What is the most responsible way of disposing balloons after my party? Can helium be harmful if inhaled? There's a big question, right?
Just to go back to the California balloon law one. So I've heard this being used with a customer from another business. We've worked with lots of businesses, and I've heard this objection happen, and then that company has used that information, say, well, we actually follow the California balloon law, and we do this, this, this. And you can see the customer being slightly glazed and not understanding. They were doing their best job to use the tools that they had at the time to try and convince and convey what they were doing was right and the right way to do it, but it's jargon to customers.
Yes.
So that's why it's in here as well, because it's helpful, because some customers have heard the jargon, and this corrects them and it helps them. So it's an absolute gem.
Yes, absolutely. There's another one. Does the release of helium hurt the environment? There's a good question. And we can click onto it, and it takes onto here to say that it gives you the answer, but also it's got the citations. Yeah, which is the important bit.
And you can contact it directly the website, so they're not having to come back to you necessarily to have, fact checking or, further information. There is an email address, it is contactable. But like I say, we've got customers that have raised the question and then they've gone away, read this and come back. I'm going to say, with hand on heart, that the majority of our customers have raised the question because they are consciously thinking about what they're buying, but because we've given them this information, they're not actually reading a lot of it.
Yeah.
The professionalism of the sites and the sheer volume of the content that's all kind of saying the same thing is enough to convince them that we're doing the right thing.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to move on to the next one. The next one is actually one of two. It's the European Balloon and Party Council and also the Balloon Council. The European Balloon Party Council, obviously in Europe, and the Balloon Council is across America. But they're both fantastic resources. So we're going to pop over to the EBPC website, the European Balloon and Party Council.
Brilliant, very, very captivating. I was sold on this one.
Yes, it looks like the whole solar system.
And again, all of these have got their own social media links as well. So, you can send them the website, which I do recommend. I have to say, yes, you can send the Facebook and the Twitter handle and all the rest of it, but the core content that is directed to the customer in the best way is the website.
Yeah.
If the customer wants to spin off from that and then go onto the social media, brilliant. But we find the actual website link is the strongest way to convey the message.
Yes, and right in the middle of there is the Join Us, which we can, and also Party Safe. Won't click on that quite yet, but we are going to come back to it because it's very important for your customers. So we're going to flip down and you can see our mission, what we do. One of the big things on here is the sustainability side. Industry standards, best practices, but the sustainability again. We're going to click onto this. And it's all about, we have One Earth, so it's talking about our environmental responsibility, right? And everything with it. So it's telling us about, these are our top priorities in the fact that we have reducing our carbon emissions, we're minimizing our waste, and we're encouraging responsible use, we're supporting a local economy, supporting the members. Now we have these encouraging responsible use, and we have these best practices. Which is worth a click. And the vision's clear, our guiding principles, core values, safe and ethical products, a unified industry voice, promote best practices, and everything that's to go with it.
Now again, this is primarily aimed at you, the business user, rather than the end user, although we have used it to validate to our customers what we're part of and what we hold our standards to.
Yes.
But we use that one where we point out the balloon facts one as the go-to read, because that's going to answer the majority of your questions. But this is like saying, we're part of the Qualitex Balloon Network. We work alongside the European Balloon and Party Council.
Yeah.
We're part of PIBA. All these things where they can go and read this information.
Ensure that you actually take your environmental responsibility serious.
Yeah.
So going back to the homepage of this, it is this Party Safe website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, which will open up in a new, and you can see there straight away this is definitely more designed for
Direct to customer.
Direct to customers, yes. So, and it's all cool, fun stuff and information regarding balloons. And party industry in general, but a lot to do with balloons. So we have indoor party games. We've got the link to Balloon Facts to show that it ties in there
I
again.
love the circular nature of the websites where they're kind of all helping to kind of point customers around and navigate all these resources.
Yes, and it says here, so this is the great thing. It's not packed full of a massive amount of information that you have to read straight off.
No.
It has
Bite-sized
headlines.
chunks.
Here we go.
To help you navigate and digest this information.
Because there's a lot of false information here in that it's out there across the internet saying that
Not
balloons.
Party Safe, by the way,
Yeah.
people.
No, but saying that balloons are not in the balloons are in the top 10 of single-use plastics and they're not. And the thing is that this is the information about it. So it's saying balloons are not in the top 10 of single-use plastics. Latex balloons are not plastic. So why do they appear in the European Commission's list? From an industry point of view, it's unfair. Please click here. So basically, it's got the information out there, and then the reader can decide whether they want to learn more about it. And if they do, they can click on it. If not, they've at least got the message of balloons are not in the top 10 single plastics.
Yeah, it's that headline to try and hopefully correct the course of a customer's opinion, because, majority of the time, their opinion is steered from a bold headline, probably from a social media kind of mislink, it's been missold and it doesn't have the substance, and it infuriates us and you guys that customers are given this disinformation.
It's sensationalized. People take a headline and they spin it in a way so that it sensationalizes it in the media to grab it. It's clickbait that's what it is. It's out there to make these bold statements, and then if you spend ages reading into it, you find out it actually it isn't.
Yeah. But most people, ourselves included, don't necessarily do due diligence on the information that we're given.
Yes.
You'll often take it at face value. So we're trying to now counteract that by giving our customers some more information, but we have to come stronger and harder in making sure that ours is backed up, because now we're kind of invoking some conflict because we're challenging what they believe.
Yes.
And that's why these, for us, independent websites, it's not our website, it's not Qualitex, this is independent, multiple websites that are all saying the same solid, factual information.
Yeah, we've got product safety, we've got balloon information, party products information, education network for schools, understanding the warnings and the labels. There's lots of information here as well for the end users.
Yeah.
This is definitely another website that I would get people to go to, which is partysafe.eu. It's another one, and again, it is partnered
it's also
with Balloon
pushing
Facts.
the positive reasons to use balloons as well. It's not just fighting the environmental that they're okay and all the course corrections of the facts. It's also saying we can use them in ways that are really good for you, your family, and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really helps.
So from here, this was the European Balloon Party Council. The next we're going to go over to is the Balloon Council, because this is it's based in America, but again, it's another real deep
Solid
gold mine of
foundation
information.
of it,
And there's tons of stuff information on here. We briefly talked about the California balloon law.
Yes.
A lot of people are referring to it now as smart balloon practices, and it kind of has a bit more.
It's like a rebrand.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same kind of rules, if you like, the same guidance, but it's done under smart balloon practices. Now, we felt this probably more than anybody when we've gone around the world teaching, and we're trying to educate them on the California balloon law. It's part of the QBN, it's part of the CBA exam. and everyone comes up with the same answer.
I don't live in California.
But when we talk to them about that, lessons were learned there, and we're trying to save everywhere else from those negative issues that happened because of bad practice. That's where the smart balloon practice came from, not from me and Keith, but from the fact that the selling it as California balloon law is not the way to sell it.
No.
Smart balloon practice is smart. It's sensible ways to go about your business to be productive, profitable, safe, not cause negative impact, which means you're not going to get negative comments and problems. So it's brilliant.
So we can go into it. We have we can choose which way we want to do on here. We can use the top or we can use the bottom. Depends if you're visual or like to read. But if we go into smart balloon practices, we can flip into there, and it tells us all about smart balloon practices, and it's got.
I'm pretty sure they've got downloadable.
There's it right here.
Because that character they've got there.
Yeah, it's just Faraday.
Yeah. He appears in quite a lot of those ones. So, there's quite a bit of literature there you can kind of download.
Anybody in the chat can think why Faraday was is the kind of the mascot for here. But we've got watch a video on meeting Faraday. Faraday's 5 smart tips for balloon use poster. Faraday's 5 smart tips for balloon use card. Faraday pledge. Smart balloon practices aimed at children and smart balloon practices aimed at adults.
We see quite a bit of activity on the Facebook groups where people are saying, I'm going into a school to talk about, balloons or my business and stuff like that. This here is golden.
Yeah.
You can use this with, class education, do something at your local school. We've been into our schools to talk about, our business and, how we started. It's just, like a kind of a careers day, if you like. But this sort of stuff, you could do little things with the kids like this. Because, you know what? The kids educate the parents, and that's actually the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I get most of my information from, my kids.
Yes. So if we go back onto here as well, we've got responsible balloon retailers. So... we have information there if you want to join up. The Education Network, the history of balloons, legislation, all about the helium side. So if you do, again, want to read about what's going on with helium, it's a good use, and the environment.
This is a dual purpose website. This is for you as a business to navigate and find lots of information out, and then also end user can see some of it as well. And we're quite happy for the end user to see this. That this is something we would share with them, but we'd talk about it. That it's something that we're part of, and there's some extra information in there. But again, read the Balloon Facts one because that's your headlines.
Yeah, but there's actually a really good piece of information here. There was a difference between 2009, 2011 on the information that's here. But basically, it says that. There was a coastal cleanup involving over 183,000 volunteers, covered a lot of the shoreline, underwater miles, and balloon pieces were found at a rate of 4.19 per mile, and accounted for 1.04% of the total debris collected. In 2011, it actually dropped.
Now, this is interesting, though, because my understanding of that is that's a piece as well.
Yeah, it's not a full balloon.
Yeah.
If a balloon shatters into 1,000 pieces...
Now, I'm not justifying this,
No, not at all.
But the account is there's a piece. So you could find one tractor tyre...
Yes, and
that's
a piece of...
And a fragment of a balloon...
And that's a piece.
And that's a piece.
It's not done on weight, it's done on number.
It's not volume or weight, it's pieces.
It's pieces, yeah. I think it should be done on weight, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's
and I'm not justifying it because I'd ideally like none.
We don't want any, because the bottom line is basically balloon litter isn't acceptable. So what we need to do is we need to do everything that we can possibly do to minimise anything. So
or shred the tractor tyres to make it fair.
No, that's not the right way to do it, Tom. Anyway, moving on. So that was the balloon part, the Balloon Council. So you can get over there to theballooncouncil.org if you want to go onto here. The next
How
one we're going to pop
professional.
to is the Pro Environmental Balloon Association, and
Yes.
this is the UK website. So we've got two different ones. We've got PIBA UK,
This
and
was
we also
born
have
in Australia.
PIBA in PIBA.com.au. This is the Australian or the worldwide kind of version
Yes.
of it.
But we signed up to this one
We did.
when it first came out because it's brilliant.
Yep.
You know, again, it's just a different graphical way of presenting it, and it's just, again, those positive messages of what we do and why we're doing it.
Yes. So this was actually when we did this. This is when we stopped doing balloon releases, and what we did was we took one of the resources, and I'm going to see if it's still here. I'm going to.
Yeah, this was very helpful for us
Yeah,
in
the brochures, flyers, and posters section.
Yeah, the facilitating
Yeah.
of the. So we were looking to stop because of the negative connotations of a balloon release.
Yes.
But the challenge we had is how do we convey that to the customers? Now, what worked for us really easily was we are part of this organisation.
And we had this poster here. There's a poster, the environmental responsibility, and it's basically about why we don't do
Yep.
balloon releases.
And it's got our name on it, and it's up on the wall, and we're using it as a talking point in our business, saying we're unable to do that. We're not saying unfortunately, we're not saying it negatively, we're saying, well, actually, we no longer support the release of balloons. We're part of this organisation, and this is why. And that's it, it's
Yeah.
done. Then we look for alternatives and talk to the customer and all that kind of fun stuff. But it was the talking point and the visual that allowed us to kind of hinge on that piece of information.
It wasn't something that we were just saying. It was something that we had proudly displayed within the store to say we no longer do balloon releases, and it says on there and why. And if people want to read the full message, it is there. However,
I think it's
it is
psychological because if, like you're saying, if we as a company said, "Oh, you know, we're not doing balloon releases anymore," the customer's going to try and negotiate with you because they believe you're the person who can say yes or no. Which is why everyone says, you know, when they get a no, can I speak to your manager, and they work up the chain.
Yes.
But when they're speaking to us, they might try to negotiate, and then they try to make you feel, you know, bad and go through all the emotions, where we're giving ourselves a kind of a solid barrier to say, because we are part of this organisation, we are no longer offering that service.
And we have a big sign that says that we don't do it. So it's not like we're just making it up off the top of our heads.
Yep.
It's there in front of the customers.
This is the facts, this is why,
and that's that.
and it's done. And we didn't get any negotiations,
No
any
more pushback after
confrontation.
that.
We did get a couple of customers who were like, "Oh, okay."
Especially ones that we'd previously done
Yeah.
balloon releases
Can understand.
for and things. It can be hard, especially when it's for memorial or whatever.
Absolutely,
And,
and we're very
you've gotta be-
sympathetic to that.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't mean we're going to change our mind
No.
and bend to it. But it just means we can navigate that conversation professionally
Yeah.
and come out of it not being a bad guy. Not to say that PIBA's taking the brunt of that, but they're just giving us that additional confidence and kind of talking point to say this is why. And then there's more information, like you said, Keith. They can then go and read it if they feel they're wanting to challenge it. But again, we don't get a challenge at that point because it's put across in such a strong, professional manner.
Yeah,
We've not had it.
Done.
It's not to say you won't. Different customers maybe go at different lengths, but our customer base is quite happy with that.
We've run over as per usual.
No way.
But we've got one more website that we want to take you to, and this is a one for further reading for you guys. It's all been further reading anyway, but this one is specifically more further reading, and that is Sue Bowler's The Very Best Balloon blog. Now,
Yes.
she released a blog on March the 18th this year, and it's all about balloons in the environment and how to communicate environment friendly practices to your customers. So this is definitely further reading for you guys.
That picture there that's been used on the blog by Sue, that's brilliant. That is straight away. That's an Instagram one for you guys.
We use this. We actually used that particular picture at the end of our 99 Red Balloons video that we did.
It's a strong
for Q1
visual
Convention
that
2021.
brings you in and makes you read the message.
Yes. And it's the heart-shaped balloon. and
Yeah,
everything.
it's just
really
a win.
nice.
You know, it's stuff like that. It's really, really helpful information.
Yep.
So loads of stuff in the blog, as always.
Yes.
For the blog, if you've not already bookmarked it, just search in Google for the very best balloon blog.
Yep.
And then there's the search tool at the right-hand side to search the blog as well. These leaflets you can print, what Sue's put there, they're available on that particular website as well.
Yeah, the links are direct, and also they're available in 24 different languages.
Which is amazing. you know.
Yes.
But you forget that these resources are there, or you miss them when they come in. But 24 different languages, you know. I don't suggest printing them all for your own customers. Just pick the language that's right for you.
I was going to say I wouldn't it wouldn't be very good for most of our customers don't speak.
But
those
social media posts,
Yes.
you know, these are fantastic.
And it's a really good visual representation as well because of the leaves being all around.
Yeah, and you don't have to, you know, barrage your customer with all of these.
Please
as a
don't.
massive campaign. When you post some photos of an event or something, you could piece it in with that. You could have one photo that's one of these. You know, so it's like, oh wow, look at all these. But there's a little environmental message in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're given that really good guidance, but on the back of a really good, fantastic build that you've just done. So while you're on that wave, use it to educate your customers. And you know what? They were probably already happy, but they might share that information. They might tell someone else.
Yeah, I mean,
actually, I read something on that.
there was a really cool thing here is that this is a really nice lifestyle photo of this lady with a bunch of balloons, and it says, "Did you know latex balloons are plant-based?" I mean, that statement by itself is pretty strong. It says there, in fact, got a nice green tick with it as well, so it's a good visual
must
clue.
be true.
Yeah, and it's a good thing. It's green's good.
Just
In
so
fact,
you know, Keith, nobody can see you, but you're
I know you've been keeping your arms over this ad. I'm thinking they can't see you. In fact, they're made from sap or rubber trees and not from plastic, as sometimes reported. So there's loads of great information here, and we've got nice recycling symbol next to this young lady here with the mylar balloons, microfoil balloons, and more links. But it is further reading for you guys.
It's separating out those streams of different ones. It's making them go, well, actually, yes, some are recyclable, some are made from an environmentally, efficient product. We're not just saying, oh, they're all safe, they're all fine, don't worry about it. No, what we're saying is there's ways of dealing with them from a waste standpoint and what to do and how to use it. I know one business actually takes back all of their foils from customers.
Yes.
They recycle them and they make weights out of them.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
The 11 uses, it's actually worthwhile, the 11 uses on the Qualitex.com website for mylar balloons is
what a great way to work with your communities and your customers, of getting them to kind of do things and have little competition. There's tons
but also
of things.
even for your business, if you can get your customers to return
come back through the door.
The microfoil balloons, exactly. They come back
idea.
through the door, and also you can use them. You can use them within weights and things. There's lots of things you can use them.
Yeah. We are really happy to recycle things for customers, and especially things like the stands and bases. It's not about the cost of the product; it's about getting them back through the door. Because if they're through the door again, it becomes
it's another point of contact.
If there's less of a barrier that they feel that they can just come into your business, they're more likely to buy. So it's that repetition.
It's the what.
Not going to do it.
No, it's also, as well as that's the rapport that you build with your customers and the friendship that you build with your customers. Because remember, it's a lot easier to keep a customer than it is to find new ones. So please service your customers, look after them, and they will look after you eventually.
Highly
and
recommend
look after the environment.
Reading these resources.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying learn them, just navigate them so you know what's available to you to use.
Yes.
Formulate an email that you can save as a template that has these links already
and with
in.
your social media as well, right? Because in social media, a lot of people are using Facebook as a point of contact for customers, and you can save frequently used responses. You can have all that information. If you've got an environmental question, you can send that with the links already built in. You don't have to write it every time.
There's another website that I've seen that actually it's their own website, but on one of their pages they have these links, so then you could send your own page, which then has a bit of information. It's however it is best suited to you of how you communicate.
And your business.
But we recommend having these available. Even if you handwrite your messages personally to every customer, save these in a note on your phone, or on your tablet or whatever it is that you use. So when you referring them to the website, you can copy it in correctly. So, you know, you don't want to be going, oh, go to Balloon Facts and misspell it.
Yeah.
You want to hit them hard with the right information with not a broken link. Yeah. Spot check your links before you send them, stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know.
make sure you just double click on them before you do it.
Yeah.
Right, okay, it is time for us to go.
What?
We have ran over by
Oh.
almost 20 minutes again.
Don't believe you.
We are going to disappear for now. Remember, we've got 3 new videos coming out
I've got
next
one of them
week.
because I think
from-
that's super information.
There's loads of them being coming up in chat, and we really appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to disappear. We're going to come back next week. We've got 3 more videos coming out from
Oh,
Q
yes.
Corner Convention 2020, and then the following week we are back with something else.
We are.
Yeah, with live Q Corner Showtime.
Indeed.
So thank you all for joining us this evening. We really, really appreciate that. And I'm going to get rid of this off there.
That's it for now.
Thank you. We really appreciate that you think it was a great topic to discuss. We thought it was important too.
We did, because we were starting to get them, so we felt that you would be starting to get them.
Yeah.
And like we said at the beginning, people are and have a bit more time to ask those questions now.
And it's really important as well. We do only have one world, so we do have to look after it for ourselves and for the kids of the future, right? For everybody. So it's the whole reduce, reuse, and recycle as much as you possibly
Let's
can.
be smart, people.
Yep. Let's have some smart balloon practices. Right. We're going to say bye bye.
Do your homework. See you in 2 weeks.
And thank you everybody for joining us. And yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Well, if you have ideas for other alternative ideas for what you do with your balloons, let us know. We'd love to hear all about it.
would.
Okay. Bye bye for now.
See you next time.